The US incarcerates nearly 2 million people, having one of the highest rates in the world. At the same time, recidivism remains extremely high. About 82% of people released from prison in 24 states were arrested again within 10 years. Imagine serving your full sentence, walking out of prison, trying to rebuild your life, and then being pulled right back in because you can't find a job, you can't get stable housing, and you're treated like your worst mistake is your entire identity. Now imagine this isn't rare, it's the status quo. Today, I want to talk about prison reform because our prison system is not truly focused on public safety. It's intrinsically broken. It's focused on punishment. And when punishment is all we offer, we create a cycle where people leave prison more unstable than when they entered. If you've never been personally affected by incarceration, prison reform still affects you. Taxes go towards a system that often doesn't reduce crime. Communities face higher instability when reentry fails, and when people reoffend, everyone is less safe. Today, we will look at two major problems with the current system, two causes behind those problems, and two realistic solutions, one social/governmental and one personal. First, let's be honest about what's broken. The system creates a cycle of repeat crime instead of rehabilitation. A Bureau of Justice statistics study found that among prisoners released in 24 states, 82% were arrested again within 10 years, and 61% returned to prison within that same period. That means that the prison system often functions like a revolving door. If most people return to the system, then the prison isn't ending crime, it's merely pausing it. Some people say this isn't a problem because people choose crime. I say they're wrong, and here's why. Choice matters, but the environment matters too. If someone leaves prison with no education, no support, and no realistic path to stability, we shouldn't act shocked when the outcomes repeat. Think about a person leaving prison with a record, no savings, no job connections, no reliable transportation, and a parole system that can send them back for minor violations. That isn't reentry, it's a trap door. Now, on a second note, many prisons are unsafe and damaging environments. The Bureau of Justice Statistics continues to document serious issues tied to prison safety, including sexual victimization reporting in prisons and jails. When prisons become environments of fear, violence, and humiliation, they don't produce healthier citizens. They produce trauma, rage, and disconnection, things that spill back into communities when people return home. Some people say this isn't a problem because prisons are supposed to be harsh. They're wrong. The goal should be public safety, not revenge. If a system makes people worse, we pay for it twice, once through incarceration costs and again through repeat crime. Now that we've named the problems, we have to ask ourselves, why does this keep happening? Rehabilitation and education are underfunded or inconsistent. An R&D meta-analysis has found that correctional education is linked to lower recidivism and improved outcomes after release. Education and job training inside prison can be the difference between someone returning with options or returning with nothing. Some people say this is too expensive. I say they're wrong. Recidivism is expensive. Repeat incarceration is expensive. Paying for the same person to cycle through the system over and over and over is one of the most wasteful strategies imaginable. A second cause we can observe is reentry barriers set people up to fail. Even after serving their time, many people are blocked from stable employment, safe housing, and financial aid and long-term opportunity. Safe housing is a major one, as we can see this with many of the halfway houses having no real jurisdiction anywhere, and no one there to truly control these people or their actions or the many things that they can imprint upon each other. If you can't legally rebuild your life, you'll end up rebuilding it illegally. So what do? We stop pretending punishment alone is justice, and we move toward solutions that actually work. One of these, in the government/social solution, expand rehabilitation and reentry programs nationwide. Step 1, increase funding for GED, college pathways, job training, and mental health treatment inside prisons. Create real entry plans before release, housing support, counseling, and job placement. Reform parole policy so people aren't returned for technical gotcha violations. And the proof can work Correctional education is supported by strong research, including the RAND's findings linking it to reduced recidivism. And a second solution, and the personal solution that we have, is support rehabilitation focused reform locally. Here's what individuals can do. Vote for policies that support treatment and reentry. Support second chance hiring and fair housing efforts. Donate or volunteer with reentry programs and education initiatives. Stop treating incarceration like a personality trait that someone can never outgrow. Reform isn't just law, it's culture. If we build a society where people can recover, fewer people collapse back into crime. And this isn't about being soft, it's about being smart. So, today we explored the problems, the repeat crime, and harmful prison environments, the causes that are the lack of rehabilitation and reentry barriers, and the solutions in the government reform and the personal action that you can do yourself. We need to push for the prison systems to do what they claim to do: reduce crime, protect communities, and create safer futures. If we do nothing, we keep funding a cycle that produces repeat crime, broken families, and communities that never stabilize. But if we reform prisons into places where accountability meets education and reentry, reduce crime, and reduce suffering. Prison reform is not about letting people off the hook. It's about making sure the punishment doesn't become a factory for future harm. Thank you.